So you're currently the SVP and CFO, I think, as you mentioned, of the American Management Association. So can you tell our audience a little bit of what AMA is, what its role in all this is? I know there's a number of different organizations out there with CPA and the different things. So maybe just spend a minute and kind of walk through how to think of AMA.
Yeah, I think of AMA. First of all, the American Management Association is a non-for-profit education training company. Been around for over a century. Last year we celebrated our 100th anniversary. And it's really about teaching employees to bring about positive change in their behavior, which then will drive results at your company. And for a finance person, I consider these to be soft skills, or I like to label them power skills. These power skills, whether it's communication and presentation skills, critical thinking, business acumen, leadership skills, it all leads to making the worker better. So AMA is been a tremendous organization for me to work with. I've been here 5 years. Most people have worked here. It's probably been 20, 25 years. It's a great not-for-profit. We're based in New York City. We've educated millions of people over those centuries in 100 different countries. Part of my role too is I've worked with all our international affiliates that they report to me. So it's I don't want to say it's teaching the American management style, but it's basically teaching those power skills that I think are critical for the advancement for every employee. And fortunately, some companies don't invest enough in their employees through training. And that should happen as an automatic thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say a lot of companies, it's always the first budget to cut. Everybody's like, I don't have time. And the reality is, if you really develop a good program and a culture that you care about your people and their learning, you'll be more effective as an organization. The data is pretty much undisputable.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one statistic that jumps out at me is the great individual contributors are all of a sudden main managers. And they've had zero management training. They say actually over 68% of people say they've never received any formal management training. So picture yourself as a great accountant or an FP&A person. All of a sudden you say, all right, here's 10 people that you're going to work for you. What do you do? So that's why I really enjoy working at the AMA, to have a difference in people's lives and be able to change behavior for the good and help them succeed, which ultimately helps their business succeed.
I have to give a shout out. I first became a manager at American Express, and almost immediately they put me in some training for leadership, how to manage and stuff. It's a couple-day training. You did a really good job there, but many other companies, not so much. And like you said, the other example I think of, take financial modeling, right? We get out of college, you take a role, you're asked to build a model. You've never built one before. You've never had any training. Corporate finance is terrible at providing modeling training to employees. But if you go into investment banking, you are building a model till you've had some training.
Yeah.
That's kind of fascinating because it's like, okay, is the investment banking more important than our budget and forecast and all the modeling we do in corporate finance? No, not really. I would argue different. They're both important. So I just think sometimes that training, we can really fall short. And I know it wasn't until I got some training quite a while in that I was able to build even a halfway decent model. And I'm like, I wish I would have had a good training course to get me started. I wouldn't have had near the pain learning it as I did.
Yeah. And then one thing that frustrates me a little bit, the AMA, is that we have well over 30 courses that are CPE credited courses for CPAs, but yet that's not our sweet spot. Our sweet spot is more the manager, supervisor turning into a manager. And, CPAs or accountants or people of finance and FP&A that got great technical skills. It's almost a given that you have those technical skills, but understanding and learning those power skills or soft skills, that's critical really to any organization.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I often will call them human skills. I'm not a fan of the soft skills like you. There's others, I've called them power before. I've even said essential. A lot of people didn't like that one because like, well, the technical are essential. I'm like, no, I know, I get it. But so important. When I teach FP&A, we spend probably more time on soft skills than we do on the technical because there's plenty of resources for the technical. You can learn that. And most people are solid on the technical, but the area where you're going to advance your career is generally not the technical. It might get you that first promotion, But after that, you got to start showing that you have the leadership, the business partnering, the empathy, and list goes on and on.
Presentation
Storytelling.
skills. And
Yeah, presentation, influencing type skills. So I'm with you. So I'm curious, how did you end up at AMA? Because I know you spent a long time public as a CFO, going kind of to a nonprofit training organization. What led to that decision?
Yeah, I've been CFO of 3 different public companies, which has its own challenges, mostly in the technology arena. So it's been fun, and especially my career started in the '80s in public accounting, and then as I became CFO in the '90s and 2000s, the technology world was changing so quickly. So that was fun, and I've also been CFO of some private companies. And what attracted me to the AMA really was, now I can make a difference in people's lives. I've been through so many things, and so of what goes on in an organization. Because as a CFO, similar to an FP&A professional, you see the entire company.
Yes.
You know what's going on in all the departments, more or less.
You know where the bodies are buried.
Yes, you know where they are exactly. And so I wanted to sort of end my career. For people that can't see me, I have a little bit of gray hair, not too much gray hair, but I have a little bit of gray hair. And I sort of wanted to try to have an impact on people's lives, and in particular people in the finance arena. And that's one of the things also that drove me to write this crazy novel.